As we build your app, let's begin by going over your checklist and make sure everything is there. You've determined the purpose of your YAPP by completing your initial content list, what you want your YAPP to do. So you began with a list, this is what I would like to have in a YAPP, and you'll add to that list later, but you at least have your initial list now. You have a general understanding of how it will benefit you and how it will help you out. Having this in the forefront of your mind will give you the impetus to go build your app as quickly as possible and maybe put some other things aside while you're doing it, knowing it's going to save you time. You've selected 2 or 3 programs that you will use in your YAPP. You've already assessed the viability of your YAPP. You can use it, others can use it as well. And if you have any large files that you're going to use to initially build with your file, consider putting them online and using a URL instead of putting the actual file in your YAPP. You can do either one, but by placing the heavier files online, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment, you can use the URL in your YAPP and it makes the YAPP much, much smaller. Most large files can be uploaded to your organization's server, but if you don't have server access, consider using a service like Dropbox or something else and have a URL that will link to your large file. Consider using YouTube as your video server. You can upload a video to YouTube and mark it as private or just don't publish it, and it will be there when you need it, and you'll have a URL where you can access it. And one side benefit to this is if there is copyrighted information in your video, YouTube will point it out. At least you will know it. And remember, URLs significantly reduce the size of your YAPP. That's why we use them. It keeps the YAPP smaller and makes it easier to share content. Let's build an app using PowerPoint. Begin with a blank or an existing slide. Save it where you can find it, probably in your YAPP folder, and choose any name you like. Make a title slide with the name of your YAPP, a logo if you have one. You might consider putting a disclaimer on your slide that says, view this in landscape mode, because on smartphones and most tablets, it'll work great in landscape rather than portrait. Begin adding new slides. Each slide will have a title and group your entries into sections so that all of the slides that relate to a certain topic are together, one after the other. When practical, use a large picture or an icon on the slide that represents the content on that slide. That way it's easier to find when you're scrolling through. For videos or other media, create an icon which can actually be the video's thumbnail. And if you want to know how to make a thumbnail of a video, there's a YouTube for that. And if you want to remember, add it to your YAPP. Right-click on the icon, select the link option, and then the URL that relates to that particular device. So let's say you've built a slide, you have some information on it, and then you want to allow the user to access a video or to access a calculator. All you do is put a picture, an image of that video on your slide, right-click where it says link, open that, and down at the bottom, put in the URL that will take them to that video or that calculator. Add a brief description, keep it short. The YAPP is only for your use, in this case if it's your YAPP, and all you want to know is what that video covers. For my e-learning training, I break it into modules, and each module has a title slide. So on my YAPP, I have an image of the title slide and a brief description. This particular video discusses pipeline management. This particular video discusses feature benefit analysis. Then I can go to that YAPP, scroll down, see where the information is, click on it, and there's the video. Anytime you're using fonts in PowerPoint or Word or any other program, use common fonts, the ones that the users are likely to have. Using highly stylized fonts or fun fonts may not translate well. Either technically they may not show up, or the user will see a default font, or it'll detract from your message. Keep it simple when it comes to fonts. For multiple slides, if they're required, then put continued on the slide title. So slide number 1, look at the top of this slide, for instance. We're going through how to build your YAPP, and so the user knows this is a continuation of a previous slide. Save each slide, each individual slide, in PDF format. If you're using Word to build your YAPP, begin with a blank page. Landscape is best, so you want to move it to landscape, and it's very simple to do that. Save it where you can find it. Put the document title prominently on the top of the page so that when you go through your YAPP and see it, you'll know it immediately. When practical, use a large picture or an icon. Remember, you're scrolling through a YAPP on your phone, and you like for it to jump out. You can find it quickly because your YAPP will have a lot of different uses. If multiple pages are required, then put continued on next page at the bottom of each page. Save each one in PDF format in that folder. Each page can be added to your YAPP in your PDF editor, like Acrobat, or each page can be inserted into a slide if you'd like to stay with PowerPoint. As we've said, Excel is best for calculators and configurators, so begin with a blank or an existing worksheet. Save it where you can find it in the right folder for this particular YAPP. Put the title prominently at the top of the page, as you will see in the calculator that's attached here. When practical, use a large picture or one that represents the content. If multiple sheets are required, add continued on next page or see below. Now with Excel, you're actually going to ship the thing to them, ship the worksheet to them in a zip file. But on your YAPP, if you're going to share it with someone, share your configurator or calculator YAPP with someone, then you'll send them these pages and make sure they understand this is not all of it, there's more to follow. Hide any sheets in your Excel file that you do not want to be seen. That would be your proprietary formulas or any other information. Save all the sheets in a zip folder. That's how you're going to distribute it, because Excel cannot be saved as a fillable PDF. Save the zip file online and use the URL to show the user where to find that zip file. It can be in a Word doc, a PowerPoint document, or you can actually use an Excel sheet that's not fillable in your YAPP, and they click on that, downloads the zip file, and then they can open the Excel file. Now let's publish it. Here's how you would publish it using a PDF editor, and again, Acrobat. Now let's publish your YAPP. You're going to use a PDF editor. Adobe Acrobat is my favorite, so what you will do, if you build your app with a single program, all of your files are PowerPoint files. Save it as a PDF and you're virtually done. For instance, if all you use was PowerPoint and you embedded an Excel worksheet in one of them, then that's all you need. Save the whole thing as a PDF. That can become your YAPP, but it probably won't be that simple. If you use multiple programs, open each one of the entries in your PDF editor. So each page in your Word file, each page will come into your PDF editor. Each slide in your PowerPoint will come into your PDF editor. Then while you're looking at the editor, you can determine which order you would like for these different elements to appear. And you can move them around. You go back later and change them if you like. Create a cover. Consider creating a cover. Use Canva or a program like that and create a cover for your YAPP if you're going to share the entire YAPP. Drag and drop the remaining pages in the order that you would like them, and then save the YAPP and save it where you can find it. Return to your published YAPP anytime you want to. You'll know where it is. In fact, I open mine when I get to work in the morning. There it is. When I need some information, click on the YAPP. It comes up. I scroll through, find the URL, and continue working. No more opening the browser. No more going to a lot of extremes just to find some piece of information. As you distribute your Yap, think about distributing it internationally. It could be foreign students like these, or share your app to individuals, groups, or to the world. If your Yap is for your use only, consider having it on each of your devices. That may be all that you need. You don't need to put anything online. But if you want to share all or part of it, you have some choices. Attach it to an email and send it to people that you choose. The email will have a small attachment, a small PDF attachment, because you're using URLs instead of files. You can attach it to a message. You can put it online and then share the URL for your Yap, which is how you found this Yap. Save it to a memory device or a QR code and send it with an explanatory letter. Imagine you get a letter in the mail, you open it up, there's a message from someone that you respect, someone that you know, or someone you could check out online, and there's a memory card. Or better yet, there's a QR code. And now they can access your Yap through a direct mail. Think about that. If you're in sales or in customer service, sharing your Yap with someone outside your organization through an email or something like that may be restricted. So you want to make sure you know when you're sending this, especially if you're using it for marketing rather than for sales. If you're using it for marketing, you want to make sure that an attachment will get through their email server. Create a YouTube introductory video and include the URL in the description. Remember, you can use the same process we've seen used here in creating, developing, and sharing your app. Get busy and teach others.